My name is Brendan Plays, in case you forgot. I'm back. Sorry. Just didn't have the time to stream the last few days, well, the last few weeks, really. We're back today. We've got an Attitude Era today. We are in May 1999. We're going to have a few hours of streaming time here today. We're going to bang out a few weeks of booking, and we're going to get it done. Let's get something on the board. Let's get it happening. That's the plan today. Let's get back into the swing of things. Let's have a bit of a recap. Last time we had a show, it was Backlash. Okay, so we'll get into Backlash. A bit of a disappointing show. We didn't quite, hit the ball out of the park, but, it was okay. An 89 rated show, 50,000 attendance, that's always nice. Hulk Hogan and Kane in the main event, so that was always going to be a risk. Mankind won a triple threat against The Rock and Undertaker, so we're transitioning over to Hulk Hogan versus Mankind for the championship. Old Heart Double J defeated the New Age Outlaws to retain the Tag Team Championship, so we're now getting the New Age Outlaws out of that feud, and now transitioning over to focus on splitting up from DX and doing a Triple H versus New Age Outlaws feud. Steve Austin defeated Ken Shamrock for 95. Too Cool defeated Edge and Christian. Kurt Angle defeated Vampiro to keep the IC Championship. Okay, so we've got Hardcore Championship history. Stan Hansen, Mike Awesome, Mark Mero. RVD was really the only decent champion. He had a 3-month run. Anita had it. Ted DiBiase, Stevie Richards, Val Venus, and Gary Albright. Now Viscera's got it. So, hot dog eating contest. Viscera beat Gary Albright to win the Hardcore title. That actually got an 82 rated segment. Can you believe that? But, yes, Viscera is the Hardcore champion right now. It's called the AP Hardcore Championship because it's spread across our alliance, which is 3 other companies. We got a bit of a super alliance happening in wrestling. Big Vis actually has 60 pop. Now, I can't believe that. I know he was associated with the Ministry. We've used him in segments there, but for the most part, we've done nothing with him. This is Roar's War. Let's take a look at the show after Backlash. God forbid we opened up with a match. Not a promo. I know that's rare for me too, but a match. We had Awesome Chains lose to Martial Law. A rematch from Backlash, yes. But we wanted to wrap this feud up a little bit here. Mike Awesome actually was the best in the match. 60. Chains 53. So look, I said whilst I was looking to, whilst I was making this match, that potentially maybe it's time to break up Awesome Chains, but they performed so well together. 60 and 53 is really good for a low-end team. I know Mike Awesome, he is awesome. He's got a lot of potential to be great. And, maybe if we take a look at this hardcore division, identify, 4 to 6 guys, maybe from either brand, and kind of put them together in this little division and really make something of it, maybe Mike Awesome could be the one guy that we do that with and really go far with him there. Chains was good, 53, Blackman 59, Severin 58 as well, 64 for the match. Pretty good. And afterwards, we had a beatdown. It was Martial Law attacking Awesome and Chains for 75. So, Takada involved as well there. Of course, he's a part of Martial Law. And, we want to try and get him a little bit more TV time to get his popularity up a little bit more before we kind of get him in the ring. Because we know he's good in the ring, but he's just lacking a bit of popularity. Raven showed up and announced that he'll be mentoring Edge and Christian, a part of Raven's Nest. So Raven, Edge, and Christian forming a bit of a trio together, and that's the first Raw appearance from Raven right there. And 78, so that's a good promo from Raven and boosting up the storyline heat for Too Cool versus Raven's Nest. The Patriot was in the ring and he had a hardcore championship match against Viscera. Didn't go too well for him. He was squashed. Viscera beat him. Patriot 39, Viscera 60, and Viscera was getting tired towards the end. The match was 7 minutes long, and he was getting visibly tired towards the end. Now I'm starting to realize why I never pushed Viscera. Goldust and Golga are out there, and Goldust, is hearing about the rumors of Brian Pillman's return and says that Brian, he's not ready to come back. As Goldust, he's had his own personal demons in the past, and he just says to Brian, you're not ready yet. Don't come back yet. You're going to relapse. Don't come back. You're not ready yet. And that was a 77 rated segment. So we're starting to set up between Goldust and Brian Pillman going forward. Mary Apache took on Luna Vachon. They wanted to get Luna a big win to get her over a little bit more. And she performed at 51. Mary at 30. 50 rated match. So Mary Apache, you know, she's a part, you know, pay-per appearance woman we brought in just to fill a roster spot. And we want to get a bit more TV time to get her popularity up. So, you know, it had a purpose there. Post-match with Luna backstage with Jaguar. And Luna was talking about her win that she just got until Jaguar interrupted and actually challenged her to a match. So that started that storyline between those two. So that's the direction we're going to go with. We obviously have Toyota and Arjun Kong, but once that feud is over, what do you do with the women? We need to have someone getting a bit of momentum and getting themselves ready for a title shot. So we're going to go with Luna as that woman, but also get Jaguar a bit of TV time and see how she fares in a high-profile situation. We had a segment between Austin, Shamrock, and Kane. Austin came out to the ring and said, last night at Backlash, I beat Ken Shamrock. I did what you wanted me to do, Vince. I'm ready to take on Hulk Hogan. I want Hogan now. But it was Ken Shamrock interrupting, as did Kane, and basically said, no, if you want the title shot, you got to go through us type of thing. So Kane and Shamrock, they both want a title shot next. They both want to, you know, stop Austin from getting it, and kind of teasing a triple threat match going forward. Main event. Ooh, okay. Well, we had Jeff Jarrett and Triple H in the main event. I thought this would be a banger of a match. Turns out, they don't have any chemistry. Jeff Jarrett, 67, Triple H, 74. Still got a 78 rated match, but yeah, unfortunately, just didn't quite have it. Triple H beat Jeff Jarrett when he illegally used the ropes for leverage, so he cheated his way to a victory. After the match, he came out, you know, obviously the New Age Outlaws were out there, ringside. Triple H was glorying that he beat Double J and that it's the New Age Outlaws' fault that they lost at Backlash, not Triple H's fault, because Triple H beat Jeff Jarrett so easily, so comfortably. He's an easy guy to beat, so there should be no excuses as to why the Outlaws lost type of things. So Triple H kind of glorying that, God, look at me, I'm so great. I beat Jeff Jarrett. It's you guys that suck. It's your fault that you lost, not mine. 91 rated. So very much so teasing a turn here between the Outlaws. 8 to 7 segments they've done so far. So they are ready to turn. And maybe next week on Raw we'll execute that turn. Unfortunately though, 82 rated show, so we had a pretty poor main event. It didn't have another big match to back it up, so, you know, it's been a while since we booked a show, but it's not the one that we were looking to produce. A bad show, you'd have to say. Anything else happening? Let's take a look at Nitro. And they had an 82 rated show, so they had a real chance to beat us this week, but they had Savage versus Piper in the main event. Randy Savage and Roddy Piper only produces a 74 rated match. Can you believe that? Roddy Piper's 45, Savage I think was 46, was it? I'm actually surprised that Savage is older than Roddy Piper. Okay. Yeah, so two guys in their mid-40s competing in the main event didn't quite produce the magic they would have been hoping for. Rick Steiner, is he still world champion? God forbid. Yeah, he still is. He's still got, nearly has 80 pop, which is quite incredible. Now, we did give him, okay, we did give him 10 pop ourselves, but, you know, that's fine. They've gained 1 extra for him themselves. The Outsiders beat the Boogie Nights. Shawn Michaels! Oh boy, Shawn Michaels versus I forgot about Shawn Michaels, man. Shawn Michaels versus Rey Mysterio. 96 rated. Oh, jeez. Did we make a mistake by letting Shawn Michaels walk? Shawn versus Rey, 96. Man, that's a match. Rey Mysterio, he's gained no pop in the last year. That's a real shame. This is SmackDown. It's going to be a big one. Let's have a look. Mankind, he comes out and says that now he's the #1 contender. He's ready to face Hogan. Invites him to come to SmackDown next week, and they'll have a bit of a face-to-face confrontation. 100 rated. Good start for that storyline. Pip Nation took on the Hollies for 61. Godfather 66. Wow, okay. D'Lo 58. That's pretty good too. Hardcore Holly 42, Crash Holly 33. So the Hollies, pretty poor, aren't they? Hardcore Holly's getting better at his gimmicks, so that's something. So 61 rated match. Super Crazy 44 for his promo, starting the crazy Hayabusa, Tiger Mask, and Taka Michinoku storyline. We're going to do a fatal 4-way storyline amongst our cruiserweights, our lightweights. Get them all on the card, get them out there and showcase their skills, and maybe identify the next contender for the championship. Mark Mero is trying to get back into the building when Shane McMahon, who's got Sable and Big Show with him, they stop him, they tell him to get out of here, go away, but Mark Mero says, hey, look, I just want to apologize. I want to make a bit of a peace offering. Please let me come here next week on SmackDown and let's try and talk about our issues in the ring. So Shane McMahon does agree. And Mark Mero wants to try and make a peace offering next week. So maybe Mero might be, you know, kind of convincing Shane to get in the ring, and maybe he's got a bit of a plan. You know, maybe a bit of trying to outsmart Shane McMahon a little bit. 84. Bubba Ray and Devon announced that they are now looking to bring the Extreme to the tag team division, and they make their official debuts. Bubba Ray, average for his gimmick. Devon, above average for their Extremist gimmicks. So they're going to look to bring the Extreme, so we're going to see a bit more hardcore of a style coming into the tag division, which should be fun. Speaking of that, we had a hardcore match between the Dudley Boys versus Scorpio and the Patriot. 4-minute matchup, and the Dudleys beat them pretty comfortably. Bubba and Devon showed excellent chemistry teaming together. Oh man, that's going to be good. I'm looking forward to that. Devon 59, Bubba Ray 59, the Patriot 39, Scorpio 41. It's a 58 rated match. Pretty good. So look at the Dudley Boys. You know, we know how good the Hardy Boys perform with their extremely good chemistry. Now the Dudley Boys got similar chemistry. Wow, the Dudleys could be a team that might be hitting 60s and 70s before you know it, with not much popularity to their name. Alright, so Patriot and Scorpio not happy that it was a hardcore match. Vampiro is backstage, and he says to Ted DiBiase, look, give me another chance to face Kurt Angle. I can beat him. I know I can. Just give me another chance. And Ted DiBiase, you know, agrees. Tiger Mask gets a victory over Kazarian. Tiger Mask 40. Kazarian 45. So Tiger Mask is lacking some popularity. By getting him on the card, we can get him out there and do something a little bit better with him. And our next segment was, wow, Farouk and Bradshaw cutting a promo on Owen Hart and Double J. And they're announcing that they're going to challenge for the tag titles next, and they're going to destroy Owen and Double J. 85. And here's the big one. The Rock out in the ring. And yes, look, I figured you can't take away an iconic moment. The iconic moment was The Rock and Jericho. Jericho made his debut with The Rock. It's too good to not replicate. But this time, we're going to do something a little bit differently with the debut. So The Rock, he's talking about all the struggles he's had recently. He's had some losses at WrestleMania. He lost at Backlash. He's frustrated with his position in the company right now. And Jericho interrupts, makes his debut, much to the crowd's surprise, and actually challenges The Rock to a match right now. Chris Jericho made his debut and got very good for his gimmick, so that's a very, very good start. And that's all the makings for potentially a good setup for Jericho, who actually performed poorly in this segment. Can you believe that? But 100 rated, so The Rock, I guess, carried him through it? I don't know, but 100 rated segment. And now the match. Let's see it. 86, okay. The Rock, 90. Chris Jericho, 74. You gotta remember, Chris Jericho has 63 popularity, and he performed 11 above his popularity. 11! That's pretty good. 86 rated match. Jericho beat The Rock after The Undertaker distracted The Rock. So Taker and Rock's had a bit of a feud going on for a while. And this is kind of Undertaker getting one last little jab at The Rock by distracting him, costing him the match, and Jericho picks up the win. And you know Chris Jericho is going to gloat and talk about how great he is forever and ever. And 88 rated. So Jericho makes his debut, and he brings in a pretty good overall rating for the show for SmackDown. Better than our Raw show, that's for sure. I wonder if he affected actual ratings. Let's take a look. 42.28 TV rating, 18,000 in attendance. I would like to know our last SmackDown rating. So 42.28, exactly the same. Okay. Exactly. So Jericho's not bringing the ratings yet. Maybe next week. Thunder, the show that Jericho used to headline every week. He's no longer suffering Thunder anymore, but yeah, he's letting it go. And Thunder not quite doing that well. Dean Malenko's hurt badly. He suffered ankle ligament damage. Oh boy, he's going to be out for 6 months. Oh, that's a tough blow for Dean Malenko, who's also 38 years of age. And someone like him, 38 years of age, it might be tough for him to come back and be at his best when he does return. Anything other than that? Mark Canterbury's retiring. Whoa. Mark Canterbury, of course, part of Southern Justice and part of the Godwins. Yeah. So I think he's Henry O. Godwin. I'm not sure, but yeah, he's retiring at 35. That's really young. So we got rid of him in January. So 5 months without a job, and he says, you know what, I've had enough. Interesting. Dick to Go's now got a toned body. There you go, Dick to Go getting in shape, and that star quality's on the rise. 38 pop. Paul Heyman is now average. Okay, is Heyman getting into shape? Maybe. Apparently Paul Heyman has 66 star quality, which I can't believe that. The Rock, I like what Super Crazy's doing in the ring. He's only going to get better with time. That's what I want to hear, Rock. Who lost maybe 1 pop from losing to Jericho. So, come on, Rock. He was furious about losing, but he lost, what, 1 popularity point? He'll be okay. Contracts, pay rise from Scotty Taylor. That's alright. Scotty Too Hotty wants a bump in the pay rise. And The Rock, who was said to be furious that he had to do a loss to Chris Jericho, is still overall very happy. Okay. Okay. Sure. He's got 90 pop still, which is great. And Chris Jericho started at 63. He's now got 64. Okay. So 1 plus for Jericho. This is Heat. Let's take a look. Mayumi Ozaki took on Jazz for 25. Ozaki 24, she's got 0 pop, so that's not bad. Jazz 26. Ozaki's getting better at her gimmick, and the fans were not very thrilled to see Jazz wrestle. Alright. What's new? 25 rated. Dwayne Gill had a match against Rikishi. 46. So we talked about Dwayne Gill, and he's probably going to leave the company. His contract's up for renewal. We probably won't re-sign him. And he's never had a match in the main roster. We wanted to change that. Let's get him out there. Dwayne Gill against Rikishi. And yes, he suffered a big splash. And perhaps this will be the one and only time we ever see him, because I don't know if he's getting back up from that. Little Dwayne Gill. Dwayne Gill is a small guy. Gilbert, remember? He's not a big man. Rikishi's a big man. That wouldn't have went too well for Dwayne. We kicked off Sunday Night Heat with X-Pac cutting a promo on Ultimo Dragon, and I don't know how, but X-Pac got a 100 rated promo. That is insane. X-Pac getting 100 rated segments, that's huge. That is unbelievable. And that kicks off the X-Pac and Ultimo Dragon story pretty well. X-Pac just basically said to Ultimo Dragon, hey, stay away. This is my division. I'm the best guy here. You can't beat me. Taka couldn't beat me. What makes you think you could beat me? Stay away and leave and quit while you can. Leave while you're ahead. The Hardy Boys took on the Golden Oddities for 79, and Golga sustained a broken nose. Oh. So, Matt Hardy, 75. Jeff Hardy, oh my god, 80. Golga, 52. Goldust, 74. The Hardy Boys, man. We gave the Golden Oddities the win, because obviously we're getting them prepped to face Brian Pillman soon, but broken nose. Who did the botch? Who? Was it Matt or Jeff? No one botched. It's just Golga being clumsy. Maybe he tripped over and landed on his nose. The Dudley Boys had a promo before their match against Awesome Change for 67, and that's bad promo, actually. And they had a 64 rated match against Awesome Chains, and Chains sustained a concussion. It was a hardcore match, and that's fair enough. If it's a hardcore match, concussions will probably happen. D1 59, Bubba Ray 60, Chains 56, Mike Awesome 61, and the Dudleys picked up a big win to really get their careers on track and started here in the WWF. 64. Aja Kong was backstage and sent a bit of a message to Manami Toyota that she's coming for her championship 70 rated. So good stuff there to keep that storyline going. One last segment was Vampiro taking on Al Snow for 73. Vampiro 69, very good. But Al Snow, a dude who's got 41 pop, performed at 60. Unbelievable from Al Snow. We gotta get Al Snow going. We gotta get him to 55, 60 pop, make him a bit more valuable to us. But that's a good start for Al Snow there. Vampiro picked up the win for a 73 rated matchup. That gives us a 78 rated Sunday Night Heat. That's pretty good. Let's take a look. This is Raw as War. Alright, so we had Azaki versus Toyota on the pre-show. Azaki 26, Toyota 65. God, wow. So Azaki, another new woman who wants to get called up to the main roster. She believes that she's ready to get the call up. I'm not sure yet. I wanted to test her out and see how she went. She's doing okay. She's got no pop. You got to remember that, but we'll see. Jim Cornette cuts a promo and says that he will make Kane, Austin, and Shamrock official as he looks to find out who's the top dog here on Raw right now. 91. Stevie Richards took on William Regal one-on-one in a matchup. Richards 46, Regal, wow, 78. European Championship was on the line, and Regal makes it his second championship defense, 68 overall. Dwayne Gill and Viscera. Dwayne Gill, the smallest man in the WWF, he challenges Viscera to a pie eating contest. Not that type of pie, just an actual pie, and blueberry pie, and says, hey, let's eat. And Dwayne Gill gets through one pie, and as he's trying to finish his second pie, throws up everywhere. Not good. Dwayne Gill's sick. Whereas Viscera, he's already on his third, fourth, fifth pie. He hasn't even cracked a sweat yet. He's just going and going. He's doing it easy. 54. So the Hardcore Championship, I guess it was on the line, but no change. Edge and Christian took on Awesome Chains for 75. Christian 69, Edge 75. My goodness. Very good stuff. Mike Awesome 60, Chains 53. Chains had the concussion that slowed him down a little bit as well. But yeah, wrestling with a concussion, yeah, that's forbidden nowadays. But Edge and Christian picking up a win to try and get a bit more momentum heading into their feud with Too Cool. Viscera is still eating pies 15 minutes after that match. 15 minutes after that last segment, he's still eating pies. And the referees say, hey, Vis, you can't stop eating. You've already won the contest. You don't have to keep eating. And Viscera refuses and says, no, I'm good. I'm liking this pie. I'm going to keep on eating them. Yokota and Yoshida. They're in a tag team match against Luna Vachon and Hakuto for 58. Yoshida was the best in the match for 54. Yokota 52. Hakuto 51. Vachon 52. So very even. So, you have Aja Kong and Toyota up here. And then you've got, Bull Nakano here. And then you got these four women right here. And the rest is all the way down there. So you've got a bit of an interesting situation. You obviously have a couple standouts in the women's division. But then the middle of the pack is all pretty good as well. So, you can really go with any of four of these women, and they'll do a good job for you. Viscera is backstage, and we see him passed out on the ground because he's eaten a million pies, and he's exhausted. He's probably feeling sick, so he's taking a nap. He's having a nap. And Ultimate Warrior's backstage, just walking around backstage, and sees Viscera, who's the Hardcore Champion, has the Hardcore Championship next to him. And Ultimate Warrior says, you know what? Okay, fuck it. And, pins Viscera, 1, 2, 3. Tells the referee, come over here, pins him. Got a new Hardcore Champion. So, eating all those pies, came back to bite Vista in the back, unfortunately. So Ultimate Warrior is actually the new hardcore champion. Hey, I didn't pick Ultimate Warrior to win it. The chat picked him. They wanted him to win the championship. And I guess the rule is we have to push Ultimate Warrior. So there you go. He wins. That's actually his second title he's already won in the company. God help me. Main event. We tried something very different here. We took a risk, and I know that it's not going to be a great match. I knew it was not going to be great, but we had DX, Triple H, Road Dogg, and Billy Gunn, perhaps for the very last time. One of the reasons why I wanted to do it is because this probably would be the last time. So I wanted to have this trio come together, and the only other trio we have in the company is Martial Law. So I figured, well, wouldn't it be good if we gave Martial Law a huge win over DX and kind of put them over, and then we transition over away from DX, that's gone now, and make Martial Law the top stable on Raw. It's a bit of a passing of the torch a little bit. 75 rated match, Billy Gunn 80, Road Dogg 84, Triple H 93, Takada very good 58, Steve Blackman 64, Dan Severn 62. So everybody in the match did pretty well considering their popularity, and unfortunately the storyline heat's going to drop. 75 rated match is what it is, but there you go. But what happened is, more importantly, what happened afterwards. So we gave Martial Law the upset surprise victory, and they got a flash pinfall, and Triple H, you know, kind of blames the New Age Outlaws for the loss. So Triple H blames them for the loss, and the New Age Outlaws, they tell Triple H, you know what, you can suck it, and then they proceed to kick the shit out of Triple H. The crowd goes nuts as Road Dogg and Billy Gunn finally move away from Triple H, and the turn is complete. That's a success, and Billy Gunn's was a success as well. So two very successful turns, a 99 rated segment, so that'll get the storyline hit back up after going down from that bad match. But anyways, you know, in any heat, in any popularity they had a loss from that match, I'm sure they would have gained back out of this segment anyway. So a successful turn, and we go from there. So Triple H, you know, I think at this point it's best if he is on his own as a top heel. New Age Outlaws turn him babyface, presents a host of new matchups for them, some fresh matchups, and also, you know, they could be singles as well as faces when we've got some good heels coming through the ranks. So Road Dogg and Billy Gunn can kind of feud with them, and that gives us a 77 rated show. Not enough women on the show that were attractive. Well, we had two women's matches. We still didn't have enough attractive women on the show. We tried, jeez. We had women on there. We had a total of 6 women on the show, just in matches. Not good enough. 77. So Raw's been kind of lousy, huh? There's a SmackDown. Let's take a look. Mary Apache took on Alicia Webb for 27. Mary, 31. Alicia, 13. Alright, well, she wasn't the absolute drizzling shits, even though she's got really very little wrestling ability. 27. We opened the show with Chris Jericho and The Rock. Good again, 100 rated segment. And they promoted each other, The Rock. Basically saying, how dare you interrupt The Rock last week. Chris Jericho talking about how great he is and how amazing he is because he beat The Rock fair and square, all by himself, no help. He did it all. It was all him. We all know that was not true. Ultimate Dragon and Fallen Angel didn't have any chemistry. Oh, man. Well, there goes a potential feud. Ultimo 59. That's still pretty damn good, though. Fallen Angel 56. He went pretty well as well. 50 for a 65 rated match. Kurt Angle took on... Kurt Angle's backstage, rather, with Ted DiBiase and says, hey, I've already proven I'm better than Vampiro. Why do I have to face him again? Give me a new challenge. Ted DiBiase, he's a little bit torn. He wants to give Vampiro another shot, but he kind of agrees that, hey, yeah, he did lose to you. Maybe I should give you a new challenge. He's thinking about it. You know, he's not sure yet. 82. Los Barricas actually got a victory. Can you believe it? They beat the Headbangers for 68. Miguel 51. Savio 68. Wow. Mosh and Thrasher, though. That's pretty good. 54 apiece from both of them. That's solid. 91 was the rating for this one as the Acolytes ambushed Owen Hart and Double J backstage, laying them out. So, difficult times for Owen Hart and Double J as they're getting prepared to come out to the ring to make their first SmackDown appearance as tag champs. And James Mitchell made his debut as he will be. He's got great for his new gimmick, and he'll be managing Bradshaw and Farouk going forward. So he kind of instructed them to lay them out. And he's the brains behind that decision, 91. So good start for him, and that should help boost up Bradshaw and Farouk that little bit more, I believe. Nice segment here. Mark Mero was finally allowed to come out in front of the crowd, and Shane McMahon, Sable, and Big Show are there. Mark Mero says he just wants one more match with Shane, one more chance to prove himself. If he wins, he can return. If he loses, he's gone forever. He will never show up again. And Mark Mero pleading with Shane, and Shane McMahon, he says, look, you know, if this is the only way I'm going to get rid of this guy forever, I've already beaten him once, surely I could beat him again. It's a 90 rated for that segment. I think we might do Mero versus Big Show maybe next week on SmackDown, and set up for that one. Val Venis took on The Undertaker in the main event. Val Venis 67, Undertaker 92. No storyline attached, just a good match to get both guys out there and get them involved and see what happens. Last segment of the show was Mankind calling out Hulk Hogan to the ring. Hogan teased he was going to get in there and maybe throw down with Mankind and get a bit of a preview of what is to come. But Hogan walked away, not interested. He's the champ, not tonight. On the champ's terms and conditions. 100 rated in the end. And SmackDown has another solid show, 85. Pretty good. Obviously not a strong main event, but we're currently in week 2 of May. We're going to end it there, ladies and gentlemen. Great to be back playing more TW. Great to be back playing more Attitude Era. I know it's been a while. I do apologize. But thanks for sticking with me. If you are watching on the YouTube, make sure you do leave a like and subscribe to see more episodes coming away in the near future.